A very warm good evening. Uh, I'm a little with a heavy heart and a lot of guilt actually, and I've been expressing that to Professor Bang and to various others who have met today. That while I found my better half here, this has been very close to my heart. But then, what's use of all that if I'm coming here after 18 good years? And that's on my heart, and things can only change for better from now. And thankfully, I had not taken any New Year resolution. So if it's a month late, it doesn't matter. I take it up now. So that's done, and Professor Bang, you can be assured that I'm here for anything that you will require. We just saw AV for All About Belgaum, and of course, I am the first proud follower of All About Belgaum, and I can see many joining us, and that's wonderful. Me being here, it's sounding a lot of Kinzavdekar activity there, here, so I don't think we should be doing that. But I think I got this invitation very recently. While it's very foolish to talk of a formal invitation from a brother who has been so close, but since it has come so late, so that means somebody dropped out. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It's brought me close to what I need to be at, and that has given me an opportunity, and I wish to take this up with open arms and really cherish this moment. A lot of friends here whom actually have been even longer than 18 years probably that I have not met, so it's a long evening ahead for me to catch up with many who I can see right here, many people here. I will do that. With such dignitaries around, Uday wanted me to speak about what is Belgaum and what is to be felt for Belgaum. I think who better than people sitting here and associated with this activity of All About Belgaum can talk of it. I met many people. I met Amit Kalpundri, who's doing a lot of work for Belgaum, and so I think I'm a very small mortal in that regard to speak. But yes, I can do one thing is that I've traveled a little bit within India and a little oversight, but mostly in India, and when I go there, people ask, where are you from? And obviously I'm proud to say I'm from Belgaum, and it is not surprising that they know Belgaum. They do know, but that's, for me, first came as a surprise. But when I see them that they know Belgaum, it's, when we say Belgaum, it's like a huge elephant in a dark room, everybody interpreting in their own ways. So actually, I don't think that's the right perception people have. I've seen perceptions of people change. If something is in the news for wrong reasons, then Belgaum is that. If something else is in the news, again for wrong or good reasons, that is Belgaum. But the core of Belgaum is not understood, and I think the onus is on all of us to make that happen. And rather let me spend a couple of minutes or the next few minutes to talk not what I feel, what the world feels about Belgaum, and in a true corporate style that I've spent 18 years there, it cannot go. It's now part of my DNA in a way. So when a problem is given to us in a corporate world, simple way to sort it is make a SWOT. Any B school students here from IMER presently? They will know this. Do nothing but do a SWOT. Increase the opportunities and strengths, reduce the weaknesses and threats, jaws come in. I hope life was that simple, but it is not. But let me see what people think of it, and I hope we all will agree to this. While we'll talk of opportunities, strengths, weaknesses, I remember here what the great Narayan Murthy said, I think on the NDTV show, if I remember right. And that I think we'll never forget, and I use it in my personal life, at work, everywhere. He says for anyone to be successful in a corporate world or any world now, is while the good news should take the stairs, the bad news should take the escalator. So if you're going to promote the bad news first and let the bad news come to you first and you handle that, the good news will follow any which ways. Normally we don't hear the bad news, we want to hear the good news only. I think that should change. But anyway, I'm trying to give you, right or wrong, the feel that I got when people talk of Belgaum and the net result of it. Strengths, of course. The AV started with it, and I think I fully agree with it. It's the location. I think very few cities today can enjoy the location at a geographical point that we are, and so well connected right across. I don't think that many cities have, and I think that's one advantage which very few cities enjoy, and Belgaum does. But so do a few other cities around us also enjoy that. But they can't enjoy our weather, and more importantly, they can't enjoy our culture. Just if I go 100 kilometers to the north or south, my feel is very rustic. It is not the feel that you're just in the same region. Well, the world may call it the same region. For me, 100 kilometers north is very harsh and rustic, and similar when you go 70, 80 kilometers down. So the feel of Belgaum is very different. And to understand this, I think it's best to talk to students who come here in search of educational opportunities, travel to Kolhapur, Hubli, down south, and come and find it in Belgaum, and are really happy to be here. And I think that thought is indicated here. The other part of Belgaum is, of course, with other cities is connectivity. And that really plays a very important role, and that's improving. I was in Chennai today morning, and I'm here in 3 hours. We are connected now to Chennai, and so many other places that can be connected, and the infrastructure is available, and that's fabulous. So I think that's one big plus. But all this is what is not utilized by us. I'm just quoting that what is available for us to take Belgaum to the next level the way we want to. The other thing may not sound really, because when I see all about Belgaum, I see some negative news on this, and I'm a keen follower of that, but still, law and order is a big plus. When I say law and order, we need to compare. Cities are not only in south of India or west of India, there are cities also in the east of India and north of India. So when you compare Belgaum to Darbhanga or any city in the north, Kharagpur, it's absolutely different. I have been in the east, I have been in Patna, and the city shuts at 7. You have no life after that. You can't even Delhi today's all know how safe are people, and especially women folk after sunset. So I think Belgaum is very different. However negative it is, it's far different. South is safe, Belgaum is safer, I think. More than the strengths, I think there are opportunities here to be making. I think that's what we need to look at. As a banker, we keenly follow which are the cities coming up. Not that HSBC is doing a lot on that, but it's a keen following up for us to find out where we should be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and ahead. Presently, the trend is to go to a 1 million city. That is, a city's population and demography is about 10 lakh of population and around. 5 years from now, I think it's going to be cities below 1 million. And that time is, I think, coming. Various reasons fall into that space, but I think that time is coming. The biggest disadvantage of these cities was connectivity and reach. And with all technology that's available now, that biggest disadvantage is no longer a disadvantage. And I think the world is changing for the better. And I think smaller cities are going to really find the advantage there. This also because the entire world is looking for economies of scale, cost at the same time. Everyone came to China and India because it was much cheaper here. And when you keep coming to a place like Hyderabad and a Bangalore and a Pune, the demand-supply equation changes, and economics tells us that. And the things which were economical doesn't end up being that economical as time passes. And I think 20 years is a good enough time to say that demand-supply equation has changed in these places. While political situations have not helped them though, but things have changed. To find more economies and to find more scale to be able to get the BPOs or such operations working in India, the global corporates have to go more local. For example, HSBC came to Bangalore, came to Hyderabad. For more economies, moved to Vizag. Sooner, such operations of Microsoft, or any other corporation will look at even smaller cities for the for the pure cost advantages that those offer. And should that time coming be here in about 5 to 10 years, I think if Belgaum is ready, it can grapple all this up with open arms. Because what anyone looks for, I think it's all here. It's like if there is a symposium or a forum where they say, we can go and we can ask them, like, list out what you want. And I don't think Belgaum as a city can fall short of many. Or in other words, to put it, no city can fulfill as many of those as Belgaum can at this point in time, is my firm belief. But while we say this, as I said, it's very, very important to look at our own weaknesses. Because finally, that's the truth. And I think my heart stops here, but we should say that we lack political leadership. There may be questions whether it's important or not important. But as a banker, we only look at best practices and try to learn from them. And any small city that has grown because of the patronage of some political leadership. Right, wrong is a different matter which I don't want to get into. But any small city that has grown initially because of political patronage. Unfortunately, I think we are missing that, and I think that's a big weakness that we face at this point in time. It's like a small child, however talented, will need that support to really come up. It's parents, coach, teacher, whoever. But if that is missing, Sachin wouldn't have been Sachin, and probably where Belgaum cannot be Belgaum at this point in time. Also, lesser said the better, the local political impending issues, but they will haunt at this point in time. All this culminating to infrastructure. I think we are suffering on that front. And many small cities with half the potential have 10 times the infrastructure that we can or we think of having here. I've seen that in Baroda. Baroda is in fact big, but I've seen smaller cities. In fact, there is no village left between Baroda and Ahmedabad. Similar in Kerala. There is no patch of land which is unoccupied. And you call it a village just because people don't want to bring it into a corporation for taxation and other reasons, but it is a village, it's a city. And all the urban benefits are available. I heard many cities are now going to be fully Wi-Fi connected. And that's where the world is going, and many small cities are taking huge steps in that, and political leadership is really the reason why the first push will come. I think we are lacking that. Also, I think Belgaum lacks the mind share in the corporate decision makers and the political decision makers when it comes to taking a decision. So we can hear them a lot, but when we really want them to take a decision in favor of Belgaum, whether they are administrators or corporates, it will not go in our favor, and history has proved that. I think, if I'm not wrong, there was effort when Tata wanted to come in this part of the country. There was effort when the High Court was expected to come in this part of the country, and the list can be endless. So I think we need a push there, and then the mindshare that will increase will give us the real push to make Belgaum what Belgaum needs to be. Threats, I think threats are common for everyone, but the biggest threat is we are not moving and others are moving. Political leadership is intending to make many cities in Bihar move, which has never moved for centuries. And so are many other cities in Maharashtra, many other cities. Gujarat, of course, has done very well for itself. Also Odisha at this point in time. And presently I am serving in Tamil Nadu, and I see a lot of change there. Just compare a city in Tamil Nadu, a Perambudur, which is on outskirts of Chennai, and Belgaum. It is very, with all due respects there, I work there, with all due respects, it's very difficult for an outsider to come and work there. Impossible to even think of such a problem in a place like Belgaum. Communication is the issue there. Here, absolutely no problem on that. But still, the political will is able to take it to a next level. So that vacuum is really causing us a lot of effect being here. Maybe our own mindsets we need to rethink. Maybe we are happy with what we have. Maybe people like me are more happy doing what we are doing there. A question. This question I have not been able to answer myself since it came to me when I was thinking of talking on the flight today morning. But I think starting with me, we need to answer this to make a substantial impact if we really mean this aspect. And create a forum probably which could start as small as what All About Belgaum has started. But a forum which means business and is able to represent Belgaum as a franchise. Finally, in the corporate world, we love branding everything. So if you're able to brand and create a franchise called Belgaum, irrespective of anything else, and look at inclusive growth, which is a big term, and I don't think if I get into that, the evening is enough. But we look at inclusive growth, and I think that is really possible in Belgaum. Really, because any city that has grown near us has not really seen inclusive growth, has been very, very polarized towards a particular industry, a particular individual, a particular political or industrial family. Thankfully, we don't have that baggage. And if a movement is going to start with people, that baggage won't be there at all. So I think if a franchise is created, that's the thought, but if a franchise is created, we can really take this to the next level. And number of people from Belgaum who are outside who could just pick up to support this franchise is mind-blowing. With this social media, one message now, maybe if somebody is sending it right now, before I end this talk and go there, or probably before we end this evening, there must be huge support for this franchise that will already emerge on the social website to take it to the next level. But of course, that will be the start. We need to take it to action from there. One other point to way forward, if I have to correlate, and what I have seen today with a few, I also deal with a lot of senior individual investors as a banker, and I get that feel. The profits for the future are going to be for innovation, and that's my firm belief. I am personally in pursuit of finding such an opportunity, and profits are for innovation indeed. I'll just give you a small example. It is always felt that if I have to do something, the biggest impediment for a common man is capital. Not intellectual capital, but the moolah in itself. Because it cannot grow big without it. There are patents, there are so many things that are there which are beyond our basic understanding at this point in time, and no shits about it, that's a fact. But today I just give an example, and this was shared to me by none other than the founder, director of Cognizant, whom I deal with professionally. He is now non-executive chairman of Cognizant, and he's a founder and a contemporary with Narayan Murthy and he stays in Chennai. He's an angel investor, and I'll come to that aspect a little later. A group of students in Chennai, or presently in Chennai, I don't know where they are from, have worked and presented a model on Alzheimer's disease, where they have created a package which will ask you certain questions, and you answer those, and basis that and your current physical well-being, it will ask some basic questions about your blood pressure and various other physical attributes. It will predict to a 90% accuracy chances of that individual suffering from Alzheimer's in the next 15 years. Now this is an idea, can grow big. Now this angel investing group has picked up this idea, are going to invest in rupee terms kept aside for about 4 crores is what I get to know. I've converted it to rupees for ease of convenience. 4 crores to take this up. And sometime in the future, you will see that as an Android app. And once it gets to that, see the scalability of this commercial venture. And it's a small idea. Not necessary that this idea can only be generated in Chennai or Mumbai or Delhi. Why can't it be generated in Khanapur? Why can't it be generated in Belgaum? Why can't it be generated in Pani? It can be. And there may be many such ideas. Today, there are these angel investing groups. Nothing. These are people who have made enough through innovation in the past and have decided to move on. And it's a good fortune that they're doing that and looking at such opportunities today and are able to do that. And today, if there are such ideas, I'm sure there are so many people willing us to connect to such people and connect these opportunities. And imagine in the next 5 years, we have 100 such ideas and all won't come right. We need to play to scale. Even if 10 to 15 come right, which is a very, very fair estimate from one place, that franchise is going to make a tremendous difference on mindset. And once mindset changes, the way people look at anything totally changes. As I heard from one of my school teachers, and I can never forget that, it is not important what you say, it's important who says it. And that will be very true. So what you say about Belgaum and the advantages that I narrate, or you also echo that and want to say that, will not be an advantage in the eyes of the beholder till his mindshare is with us. And that can happen when there is this initial success. I have personally been guilty that we haven't done much on it. I am personally keen on trying to do this. We need to start small, and that's the most difficult, but trust me, the most enjoying phase, and I want to get to that and enjoy that journey. I have enjoyed the corporate world, and I should thank IMER as my alma mater for creating that confidence in us to go out in the corporate world and do what we are doing. In fact, many of my batchmates are doing exceptionally well in the corporate world. And in that regard, may I dwell from this topic a little bit and talk of something which I am passionate about and say that it's always about the IIMs and the Bajajs of the world. No offense meant, but if you draw a career graph, yes, those graduates there start above you. I don't deny that. But the graph after that, the corporate world forgets once you give it. It's like a Formula 1 race where if you are from a particular place, you start at pole position, you start 1. But once the race starts, it doesn't matter where were you. So you may start 2 years behind in the career, but in a 20-25 year career, that's hardly 10% and requires only 10% of your time to cover up that if you want to. So it doesn't make that difference. It is what you want to do that makes a difference. And that is what this institution really engraved in me. Worked with great people like Dr. Hegde then and is with able people right now. So I think this institution is going great guns. We worked in a space which was about 1,500 square feet once upon a time, and I can imagine, and you could imagine how the situation was at that point in time, and today we are at this palatial place and it's all worth it. But yes, to conclude, I think Uday had given me time and he hates changing that. To conclude, guys, we can do a lot together for Belgaum, and there has to be a start somewhere. There is only thing that can happen is good, because nothing great has happened in that regard. And trust me, the amount of intellect that is here and that is flowing out and that can be nurtured outside or here for the benefit of this place to grow as a franchise, because that's how it will become attractive and be attractive for many to come in and do what we need to do. We are all ready for that, and I hope many or a few of you share this, I'll not call it a vision, too big a word, share this thought with me, and there are better thoughts than what I had, and we could progress on this franchise sooner than later. Thank you for having me here. Great being in Belgaum, as it's always home, and even if a short visit, it's always cherishing. Thank you, thanks for this time. Thank you.